In today's video, we're gonna be breaking down going from date 1 to date 2 in the texting sequence and what that looks like and how to make it flirty and avoiding that boring, platonical, drying out text conversations, okay? So just to give you guys some context, the opening message is, may the best competitor win. I'm going to head to blank lanes a little early so we don't have to wait as long. Girl says, I guess so, sounds good. I've never been, so I'll do my best to find you once I'm there. So he says lane 19 when you're here. So clearly they're going on like a bowling date, right? Then after the date is over, he sends the message, had a great time last night with her name, need to get that tennis lesson in when we get the chance. So again, it's kind of making it a tiny bit flirty, implying that we should meet up again. She says, yeah, it was fun. Tennis is a little harder to do with this weather, but definitely. At which point he comes into the instant response because I guess he's unsure about where to bring this conversation, right? So this is the message we crafted him. Hey, blank, her name, you recovered from your crushing defeat yet? Winky face, okay? So this is a callback to the initial date that, you know, they had at the bowling alley. I like this message because it's kind of teasing the girl a little bit. It's not challenging, but it's a little cocky and it's a little teasing, and it's a little playful, and it's talking about that initial date that we had. So the girl says, I'm recovering from losing, but throwing the ball behind me, still recovering from that one too. Crying face. So the girl like did some embarrassing shit on the date too, which is funny. So he then says, they say 3 times is a charm for a reason. The odds are on your side, ... Okay, so this is also a nice line where it's making it playful and flirty and giving the girl hope and also implying that we're gonna meet up in the future. So she says, are you saying the next time I play, I'm going to win? ? He then came back into the instant response for a second time because he wasn't sure like where to bring this combo. So the message we crafted for him was, we could find out, but I was thinking drinks for our next date. Okay, and I like this message because you don't want to just keep going with this idea of bowling. I mean, it's great that you guys both enjoy doing that, but realistically, you should be doing a variety of different activities in several different locations with the girl. That's going to help build comfort and connection. If you only get to know somebody in one location over and over and over again, it's not going to create as strong of a memory or of a relationship with that person versus if you have memories built up with them in several different locations. This is why I tell guys, when you're on a date, ideally, you can lead the girl to several different locations on that date. Or if you're gonna hang out multiple times, then like, I prefer you guys do a variety of different activities throughout. So she said, as much as I enjoyed losing to you in bowling, drinks would be a good second date with a winky face. So that's a great response. You can see what happened as a result of us helping him with the instant response feature inside of Quip. So she says it's a great second date idea. He then came back in instant response again. And at this point we told him, dude, like, yo, she's already agreeing for the meetup. You already ran one date. You don't need to do too much here other than start moving into a closing sequence, okay? So that's gonna be something along the lines of just figuring out what her availability is. So you pick an activity that the girl would be down to do with you. In this case, we already agreed it was gonna be drinks. Once that's agreed, you wanna just move into figuring out what her availability is. And the easiest ways to do that is like, what's your schedule looking like? When are you typically free? Any fun plans lined up for the weekend? Like something like that that's hinting at the availability. And we're not just picking a day at random and pressing her on that. So she says, depending on my work schedule, I generally am free most weekdays after 6:30. What about you? He says, I could work with Tuesday around 8 p.m. How's that? She said, you want to do 8 p.m. again? Haha. He said, you got a point. We would be missing the end of happy hour. And she has a point with this too. I actually recommend you start your dates as early as possible. 8 o'clock's not bad, but if it is a weekday, it's not uncommon that by 10 p.m. the girl's already thinking about, I gotta get up early, I gotta be at work tomorrow morning. And you're not gonna have that much time with her, especially if it's a second date and you wanna make something happen. I recommend trying to start the dates as early as possible. There's not as much urgency to make something happen in a very short amount of time. You can chill out. You could slowly build up that vibe over the course of 2, 3, 4 hours, and it'll be a nice, slow, natural progression that gives you more time to work with to make something happen. So she says, right, so maybe a little earlier. He says, let's do 7:24 then. I don't really like that message, unless that's some kind of joke. I would have just said 7 o'clock, personally. Maybe even see if she's down for 6. So she says, very particular, but works for me. He came back in an instant response, and it's pretty simple. We just said, awesome. We just picked the location for him at this point because she's already down. Said, awesome, 7:24, which again, I wasn't crazy about his idea of that. I would have just said, let's do 7 or 6:30. And she says, cool, see you then. She's pretty much just saying like, lead, dude, pick a time and a place and like lead, and I'm down, I like you. This is now the day of, and we just used a standard message that you guys could use on pretty much the day of the dates, which is just picked out a cute outfit for our date, winky face, She said, I definitely have a couple options. And then he came back into the instant response again too, at which point we said, need help choosing or are you gonna surprise me? She then says, I think I'm gonna go with a surprise. So you could see that this is still flavorful small talk. It's a little spicy, it's a little teasing, it's a little flirty and which is ideal. We then gave him the next message as well, which is keeping the mystery alive, winky face. She said, oh, definitely. He says, I'll be there in 20 to get a table. Let me know when you arrive. And then she says, okay, got off work a little late. I might be a couple minutes behind, but I'm on my way, which is all that really matters. So she's on her way. She gets to the place. They ran the date. It went about 3.5 hours, at which point he said, be careful out there, blank. So I guess that's a callback. And then he said, remind me what the place was called again. Got to check it out. She said, thanks. It's called blank, blank. Okay, so that's how he went from date 1 to date 2. I wanted to show you guys this because it's a little bit different than the standard text sequence from the moment we match. And it's just giving you guys a little bit more behind the scenes of like once you're actually on the date, what does the texting sequence look like? Because a big mistake guys make is just sending the same boring messages. Hey, good morning, how was your day? How was work? That stuff can get bland and boring and dry out very quickly. So what you guys need to get good at is mastering the art of having small talk, but just making it a little bit more fun and teasing and flirty. So I like this breakdown because it kind of showcases those different elements and also how he was able to utilize the instant response feature inside of Quip to help do that. Okay, so for everybody that's inside of Quip, you guys get 3 free credits towards the instant response feature every single month. Okay, so be sure to utilize those if you haven't done so already. That's all for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this content, if you want to learn more about text game, online dating, social media mastery, check out my brand new mobile app. The link is in the description. It's called Quip. Okay, you can download that right now. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about these concepts. There's also live weekly coaching calls with me, and there's also the instant response feature. So you can upload screenshots of your text interactions, of your dating profiles. We'll analyze your screenshots and give you the exact messages that you need to send to the girl to get a perfect response, to get her out on a date, so you get more women and more dates going on in your life. All right, download that right now. The link is in the description. That's all for this video. Until next time, Coach Kyle signing out. Peace out, guys.